Good morning. We are at my favorite lighthouse, back at Como Lake Park. I'm going to show you why this is my favorite. Right there. Let's see if I can get rid of the glare here. Because there's a pentagram on it. Okay, well, it was probably intended to be a nautical star, but it's still a pentagram. So to me, it's a pagan lighthouse. And I love it. Here's Como Lake. Gorgeous. And then there's the dam that flows into the creek. Bunch of geese. There were some blue herons too, but the geese chased them off. Lame. So anyways, earlier this week, a friend of mine and I were talking about spirit guides. I don't know what's going on over there. Some sort of event or something. I keep hearing someone yelling on a loud mic or something. Isn't this gorgeous? I also realized that I guess I was holding the camera wrong. Novice mistake. So I'm going to try to hold it right from now on. I'm going to take a little stroll over to the bridge to go over onto this island over here. Anyways, so yeah, a friend of mine and I were talking about spirit guides earlier this week. It got me thinking because everyone has their own opinions on what spirit guides are. I watch a lot of different people on YouTube and they all seem to vary in what exactly they believe spirit guides to be. I don't think anyone incarnated here on Earth will ever truly know, like 100% what spirit guides are. Obviously, since we're born into this world through the veil of forgetting. Meaning we forget what the spirit world is like. We forget what the higher realms are like. So, I think we can all agree, though, that true spirit guides have our best interest at heart. They love us. They want what's best for us. They help guide us in a way that meets our needs. If we listen, if we listen to their guidance, they're trying to help us achieve our goals that we had set, the lessons that we wanted to learn, the growth we wanted to happen in this lifetime, in this carnation on Earth. But I guess I just decided I'd share like my viewpoint and what I think spirit guides are. There's a lot of people coming up, so I think I might hold off a second until I get over to this island. Here's the bridge. It's kind of funny. Right after I ended the last clip, my phone rang, and it was the school district I worked for. So it was like meant to be that people were passing me, and I didn't want to film with them walking by because I don't want to put strangers on YouTube. I think that's kind of rude. And that's gorgeous. I love it. Love it. It's a little island. Actually, I think there's two islands. This island and then there's another smaller island. If I keep following this trail. We'll see. We'll see how far I get, I guess. So anyways, spirit guides. My thoughts on spirit guides. So, for me personally, I believe spirit guides are social memory complexes. What is that? So I learned about social memory complexes during the study of the law of one raw material. That's what it's called. And what it was, or is, it was done in the 1980s. And it was a lady who would go into a trance, and then there was a questioner and a scribe. And when she went into this trance, she would channel an entity that called itself Ra. And does that sound familiar? The Egyptian sun god Ra? Yes, same entity that had communicated with the ancient Egyptians, helps them build the pyramids, taught them about the major arcana and its original uses. So this Ra entity claims to be the social memory complex of the entire civilization of Venus. So millions of years ago, they lived on Venus. Now their consciousness has evolved past needing physical form. They're now evolving as light bodies, which they describe in the material and everything. And honestly, pretty much everything in that information really resonated with me, and definitely recommend it. I guess I'll put links. You can actually read all 101 sessions online on their website, so I guess I'll put in a link to that. And then also, I highly recommend, if you're interested in it, there's a YouTube channel. His name is Abke, and he is amazing at explaining everything, because in the material, Ra speaks very it's a very intelligent being, so they speak in a very highly intelligent manner, and sometimes it can get kind of confusing to understand, but Abke breaks it down so it's so incredibly easy to understand, and describes what Ra is teaching. And he teaches about what the divine is. He teaches about how our consciousness evolves, and touches bases on Bigfoot and UFOs and aliens and cryptids and Jesus and his teachings that got lost in the whole corruption and control scheme or whatever. And just a very interesting read. He talks about the major arcana of the tarot and what it originally was intended for. Not divination. It was originally intended as a way to understand our physical, spiritual, and mental development. Anyways, yes, Abke, amazing. He also goes over A Course in Miracles, which was another channeling by another entity with another group of people, that kind of goes into depth about what Jesus was actually teaching and stuff like that. And then he also talks about Jesus and Jesus's teachings, and he's got a bunch of different playlists. I highly recommend him. I'll actually put his link to his channel in the description below as well. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. So these social memory complexes are basically when our consciousness evolves to the point of a huge group of consciousness combining kind of into one entity or one kind of think group. So I guess an example would be your higher self, right? So our higher self is basically all of our different incarnations, all of our memories from our incarnations and personalities combined into our higher self. So it's a smaller version of a social memory complex. And then as we evolve, as a species, as a planet, we start combining even higher and bigger groups of consciousness. And so that's what I think that's what I think spirit guides are. They're social memory complexes. They're energy beings, part of their collective consciousness. Some of them might be incarnating as light bodies. But overall, it's just one big collective. And I believe that every single person has a spirit guide watching over them. And I say in the singular term as in because it's a collective, right? Now, us being in the physical realm and through the veil of forgetting, and we want names. We want to know the individual. We want to know, what's their name? What is their backstory? What's their details, whatever. Trying to be cool. Anyways, so when you ask them directly, they're going to give you details. Now, that's not to say that they're lying to you. They could be presenting themselves as one of their past incarnations and using that backstory, or using multiple of their incarnations. So like you'll have people that say, I have multiple spirit guides. It might be all from one social memory complex, and they're presenting themselves as multiple entities from incarnations they've had in the past. There goes another plane. We're very close to the airport here. I'm gonna let that pass for a minute. Very loud. Let me show you. Island. Now I'm on the second island. So I'm coming down here. I'm kind of going off trail here. This is like maybe a deer path, or maybe fishermen probably come over here to fish, because a lot of people fish here. Hello, going down. Lots of goose poopies. So watch where I'm going here. Yeah, lots of goose poop. So I'm like on a little peninsula right now. It's really pretty. So anyways, yeah, spirit guides. Whoop, that's the wrong way. Sorry, my bad. What do they do for you? What do they not do? A lot of confusion here, because I've fallen for that trap when I first got into communication with spirit. I fell into the trap of not knowing enough, jumping in head first, and I was tricked by an entity that really messed me up emotionally, and had a very bad experience. So I feel really important to share that your spirit guides are here to help guide you. They love you, they want what's best for you, but they have rules that they have to follow too. So I think it's referred to as the law of confusion in the raw material. So basically, what you think is your reality. And if you have a certain opinion, a strong opinion about what something is, then they can't tell you it's not unless you ask them directly, for the truth. So they're only going to reveal to you what you are ready to know, what you're ready to understand. So you can ask them straight up, but it has to be something that you want in your heart. It can't just be like, oh, I want to know this, but my heart is dead set on, this one understanding of it. So then they're just going to be like, yeah, sure, that's it. Why not? Because if they go against your free will and tell you something that would like totally shatter and destroy your your sense of reality of the way things work, then that could be damaging to you emotionally, mentally. So they're not allowed to do that. So things that I've learned about spirit guides. 1, they're never going to stoke your ego. Okay? They might give you compliments. They might give you encouragement, but they're not going to be like, oh yeah, you're awesome, you're the best, you're doing so good, you're going to be amazing, you're going to be like famous, whatever. They're not going to stoke your ego. Number two, they're not going to tell you horrible things are going to happen. So that's not to say horrible things aren't going to happen in your life. You probably signed up for that to learn some lesson or you know, to grow spiritually, but they're not going to tell you something horrible is going to happen. They're not going to scare you, because again, that would be going against the law of confusion or against your free will. So you decided you wanted to go through this horrible experience. They're not going to tell you. Now, they might try to like help guide you through it, so that way maybe it's less painful, or you get to understanding what you had wanted to learn, but they're not going to be like, hey, you, guess what? You're going to die in 10 days. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do crazy stuff like that. Also, it's very important not to expect them to give you information that you don't ask for. So if you need help with something, say you're doing shadow work and you need help healing through some sort of traumatic event or some sort of aspect of trauma that you're trying to heal, ask them for help. Say, I need help with this. Can my spirit guides please help me release this trauma or whatever you're trying to do? In divination, I strongly believe that divination and why tarot works is because our spirit guides see how we interpret the tarot deck. And so they use that as a way to communicate with us. So when you're reading the tarot deck and you're feeling through the cards or whatever you're drawn to, I believe is your spirit guide guiding you to that card, because the understanding, what we understand about that card is the message they're trying to get across to us, if that makes sense. So don't be afraid to ask them for help, because they are here to help you. They want to help you. Just do it. Just ask. So I wanted to show you this side of the island, but it's actually a fairly long island, so I didn't want to have to make you wait through me walking all the way across it. There's some like old part of a building over there or something, which is kind of cool. Bet you can see into the spirit realm from that side. Maybe, I don't know. Gorgeous. So, ask and thou shalt receive. That's John 16:24, Matthew 7:7. That's true. Ask your spirit guides, ask the divine in earnest. Most of the time you don't even have to say it out loud, because they know what's in your heart. They just know. But ask them in earnest, and they will help. They will guide. They will bring to you what it is you need. That's kind of what manifestation is, kind of how manifestation works. Maybe that should be a video for another time. Anywho, peace, love to you and yours. Blessed be. Have a great day.